right there. I believe it's a skull and crossbones. And they say that's Nazi memorabilia. Army looked at it. Everybody looked at it. It's not a Nazi thing. I'm not a Nazi. Shut your mouths and leave me alone. Instead, he just buckles like a little baby. I'll take it off.
And so let's round them up. Let's make sure that they are the subject of the laws that we're passing because we don't like who they are.
It's not that we don't like them. It's that they're shooting people and attacking federal officers. A Democrat candidate being accused of being a secret Nazi. This guy right here is running for office. His name is a candidate called Graham Plattner. He's an oyster farmer and he's challenging Susan Collins up there from Maine. Susan Collins, a very squishy Republican who's like 200 years old, who constantly joins the Democratic Party to pass the worst nominees. She's kind of like a less interesting version of Lindsey Graham. But now she's got a challenge. It's this dude, Graham Plattner. And he had to come out and explain himself, asked questions about being a secret Nazi. This is over from Pod Save America, one of the most left-wing podcasts that exists. And they posted this. New Graham Plattner reacts to recently resurfaced video of him singing shirtless, it's coming up, at a wedding and an opposition research attack saying he's, quote, a secret Nazi. Let's see what he says about this from this podcast and we'll catch the rest of the article. And the video of his Nazi tattoo is here.
In kind of a non-traditional campaign move, your team actually shared some opposition research on you with me. It's a video from, I believe, a decade ago. Let's just watch an excerpt and then we should talk about it.
All right, there it is, right there. Now, I don't know what is going on or why he's naked and everybody else is in their clothes. Seems a little bit also like a questionable thing, but he's running as a Democrat, so maybe this is just a normal thing. But that's the tat right there. I believe it's a skull and crossbones, and they say that's Nazi memorabilia.
And I would like to know, is that accurate? Are you a secret Nazi?
I am not a secret Nazi.
Well, I don't know about that. That's not what that tattoo says there, bucko.
Actually, if you read through my Reddit comments, I think you can pretty much figure out where I stand on Nazism and anti-Semitism and racism in general. I would say a lifelong opponent. The video is from my brother's marriage to his wife, to my sister-in-law, who I was
So you had to get naked?
serenading. I told them that my wedding gift to them would be my embarrassment. And so I performed a lip sync version of Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball to my sister-in-law the day of her wedding to my brother. And now, of course, that embarrassment, which was mostly just held internally in the family, as we always use that video at family events and laugh, is now shared with the world. So I feel like I'm just going to give them a wedding gift for the rest of my life.
All right, so he's releasing it because he's like, man, if they release it, and this is just smart politics. You always want to get ahead of it, right? You release it. Don't let your opposition release it. And, I'm all for everybody having a good time. A little bit weird that he had to take his clothes off at his brother's wedding or something to his sister or something. I don't really get it, but all right, that's what the Democratic Party does. It's, I guess, all adults in there. Are there any kids in this room as he's going around basically naked with his Nazi tattoos on? Here is what Politico says in their explanation. That tattoo's right there. And he's like, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to remove it immediately. Democrat Maine Senate candidate hopeful expressed regret over his tattoo. It appears to be similar to a Nazi symbol. He got it 2 decades ago and he's going to get it removed. His latest mea culpa after a week of damning headlines. His campaign sought to front-run opposition about this, which is a smart tactic. It's a Nazi skull and crossbones, apparently. It was not until I started hearing from reporters about this that it looks like a Nazi symbol. So the reporter's like, oh, I absolutely would not have gone through life having this on my chest if I knew what it was. To insinuate that I knew what it was is disgusting. Now, I don't have any tattoos and haven't had any interest in them, but I saw a post from Meghan McCain and she says, I do have tattoos. And she says, I know what they mean. And I wouldn't get something on there if I didn't know what they mean. So he says he got the tattoo while he was out drinking with Marines, serving our country. He goes out there with a tattoo, gets skull and crossbones off a wall at a tattoo parlor. Now, the U.S. Army prohibits tattoos that have identified as hate symbols. And so he just says, no, I thought it was just skull and bones. Like, I'm in the Marines. Our job is to go kill people, So in nearly 20 years since, this hasn't come up. I enlisted in the Army, which involved a full physical that examines tattoos for hate symbols. And I also passed a full background check to receive a security clearance to join the ambassador to the Afghanistan security detail. Okay, then why is he removing it? So he's just kind of weak. So some reporters come in and they say, it looks like a Nazi symbol. He's like, it's not. Army looked at it. Everybody looked at it. It's not a Nazi thing. I'm not a Nazi. Shut your mouths and leave me alone. Instead, he just buckles like a little baby. I'll take it off. His statement that he would get the tattoo removed came after questions were raised. He's like, I'll just take it off. Maybe he didn't know it when he got it, but he got it years ago and he should have had it covered up, said someone else. His former political director. Like, this is such a big deal for them that they have to come after their own kind. Otherwise, they'll look foolish. McDonald, a former Democrat lawmaker, resigned from the campaign after other controversial posts on Reddit. Jewish Insider also reported on Tuesday that an acquaintance of Plattner recalled him referring to the tattoo as my Totenkampf. Totenkampf, which if you look over on the ADL website, which is a, hack organization, this is what they say it is. It's a death head. It's German for death's head or skull, and it typically refers to a skull and crossbone images. And during the Nazi era, Hitler's Schützenstaffel, they were the ones who used this image. It became a symbol of one of the branches whose purpose was to guard concentration camps. Many original members of this division were later transferred, and following the war, neo-Nazis and white supremacists resurrected it, and it looks like just skull and bones, man. Like you see that all over the place. Skull and bones is everywhere. Are those all Nazi symbols? Is it because of the type of the bones coming out of the side? Like it's not just the head of a skull? All right, so he gets the tattoo, and now he's saying, okay, I'll take it off. I apologize. He had also a series of offensive Reddit posts downplaying sexual assault and all the things. So man, cancel culture even comes from them. And this dude, I would imagine, is probably a legitimate threat to Susan Collins. Like probably a good candidate, right? Former military member. I think he was out with the Marines, but he enlisted in the Army. He's white, so there's a down for him. But in Maine, you think, okay, this guy can probably come and beat Susan Collins. Probably a little bit more moderate. So people who, want to join in the middle can come and vote for him, and he can beat Susan Collins, who's a very squishy moderate, by the way. So maybe he could capture a Senate seat, but no, they don't like his tattoos, and he's going to just bend the knee on it. Oh, yep, you had it for 20 years and you're going to go cut it off. Why don't you just tell him to shove it, okay? Cancel culture, all that stuff is over. Just tell your own party to shove it, but he can't do it because he's got to bend the knee. I didn't know I'm a Nazi. I didn't know I was wearing this for 20 years. Yes, you did. You knew what it was, and now you're just having to deal with it. So these people are out here calling everybody else Nazis, like PB&J Pritzker, the extra-large governor from Chicago, Illinois, saying that Trump is like Nazis, essentially, without saying that exactly. But here is what PB&J had to say.
This is what happened. This is what happened. People's rights started getting taken away. People got accused of being immigrants. This is before the Holocaust really took place. People were accused of being immigrants, and then laws were passed to limit immigrants, and then people who weren't actually immigrants were called immigrants, and then it was othering people, and that led to a lot worse things. What I'm saying is that
so we're in the beginning of a Holocaust in America.
Authoritarian regimes do it. They create these kind of fake ideas that there's an enemy out there and it could be sitting next to you at one of these tables. And so just somebody at your table that you don't like might be one of those enemies. And so let's round them up. Let's make sure that they are the subject of the laws that we're passing because we don't like who they are.
It's not that we don't like them, it's that they're shooting people and attacking federal officers and trying to burn down federal facilities. So they just come out, they talk in these straw men, basically, saying that I guess the Trump administration is acting like Nazis when there's no evidence of that. But we also saw this little scam. So Karine came out. I don't know what happened to her hair, but I never thought I would say this, to be honest with you, but I think I preferred it the other way. Yeah, like the whatever was going on with like the pincushion thing. But here's only 17 seconds. I know.
Right now, in this moment, there's an existential threat.
What
Our democracy is hanging by a thread.
What?
Some people would say we're already an authoritarian regime. And I need to see teeth. I need to see fire. And not just me. Many people are worried and concerned.
All right. So we're hanging by a thread. Her former boss was barely alive. I feel like maybe she's trying to like change her identity a little bit. She's like, no, look at my hair. It's totally different. Don't remember me as the liar who lied to the entire country about Joe Biden's capabilities for years. And Jen Psaki is also getting called out. Stephen Chung, who works with Caroline Levitt at Comms, said Jen Psaki must be transferring her own personal issues onto others. She's a dumbass who has no comprehension of the truth and has to overcompensate for her lack of talent by saying untrue things. Circle back on that, Jen Psaki, you moron. Here's what Jen had to say about J.D. Vance's nice wife called Usha.
I think the little Manchurian candidate, J.D. Vance, wants to be president more than anything else. I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like, are you okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come over here. We'll save you. And that he's willing to do anything to get there.
She is Jen Psaki, totally. So it's amazing to say that. It's like, okay, there's no Democrats who want to be president. Every single one of them does. That's why you run for office. That's why you become a senator or a House of Representative person or become Secretary Secretary of State. They all want to be president. So thank you for your very unimpressive commentary, Jen. And I'm sure that podcast was just total disaster. Now, we also saw this. Mike Johnson came out and he said, these Democrats are nuts. They come out, they call us Nazis. Meanwhile, their own constituents are out there waving foreign flags in our streets, demanding that illegal invaders get to stay and that the government gets reopened so we can pay for their health care and benefits.
And we passed a clean, nonpartisan CR to keep the government open for the people. Now look on the other side of that figurative split screen as demonstrated here. The lights are out. It's all dark. Why? Because what the Democrats have accomplished in 9.5 months is a government shutdown. A couple other things sort of related to that. You know, they have made a lot of TikTok videos. We'll give them credit for that. They've also assaulted law enforcement officers. One of them's on trial for that. They've openly embraced and rallied with communists and socialists, most recently across the country on Saturday. They voted to raise taxes on millions of hardworking Americans at the worst possible time. They have voted against reducing fraud, waste, and abuse in government, and they have now voted, collectively, Democrats in Congress have voted 12 times to keep the government closed down. But it doesn't stop there. The Democrat shutdown is a glaring example of just how far the Democratic Party has strayed from common sense. Remember the simple truth here. It was over a month ago now that we passed, the Republicans passed the clean, short-term, continuing resolution. It's nonpartisan. No gimmicks, no tricks, no riders, no partisan Republican policy priorities added to that. It's 24 pages in length, as we've discussed so many times, and it is very, very simple. Why? Because it was a very simple good faith effort on our part to preserve our ability to keep negotiating on the full year funding bills. And of course, the other big issues facing the American people.
But the Democrats care more about their illegal alien constituency, and so the government will continue to be shut down while the Democrats have to battle secret Nazis in their own party. We'll see what happens with this fella, if he resigns or if he releases a new dancing video without that tattoo on there, so the Democrats will be placated since they got another scalp. He bent the knee and just lopped it right off. So we'll see what happens. Susan Collins, very happy about this news since the Democrats have a Nazi in their midst, but we'll see who wins that election coming up soon.